What's going on, everybody? Happy hump day. Hope everybody's having a good week. Just want to dive into a couple trades. And so I want to start off with KYNC from Friday that I held over the weekend. And it did not work out for me the way I had hoped. And we actually gapped up a little bit towards 17 and then just washed out in the morning. And I completely just did not stick to my plan. Like I said, I was going to, like how I talked about on Friday's video lesson, and had my cut here at 15.5, completely ignored it, let it kind of do its thing. Held all the way down here. I was down like almost $700 at one point down here. And I ended up selling it all back up here at 16.1. I had sold some in, 15.8 in the 15s, high 15s, and then sold the rest up here at 16.1. And it only ended up taking like a $250 loss, which nothing compared to the 6+100 that I could have lost. So completely terrible. Just had way too much size, was super uncomfortable and emotional, and it's just something I need to keep an eye on in the future. Just making sure my size is appropriate for the setup and trade that I'm looking to take. So even though this was a really nice breakout and was consolidating very nicely in the last hour of the day, near high of day, I just had way too much size. And then when it failed to break out past high of day, I needed to cut it and be done with it. So nice little learning lesson there. Just really be careful with the size and just really need to be disciplined and stick to your cut when it hits it, because it'll end up washing out even more than you probably thought, and you don't want to be a bag holder. So that is KYNC. And then today I did take a nice trade on MOSY. And so MOSY I kind of just saw as a breakout over 5. And usually it's a stock that has a nice strong first green day and then just fades off and finishes weak. So this is shorts love these kinds of plays, to where you just look in the past history and you see that it spikes and fades. Spikes. This one faded not as much, but it did have really nice volume this day. And this was a day that I was trading it on Friday, that I was trying to predict the short squeeze, because this is a 4 million float and it's trading, where's the volume? 59 million in volume. So it's well rotated, the float, and it's also a low market cap as well. I think it's only a 33 million market cap. Let's double check really quick. Yeah, 33.5 million market cap. So we love to see that. And these have huge squeeze potential, but shorts love that as well. And when they see that, it usually fades after a first green day, especially into some kind of resistance level. Shorts love that, and they love to pile into that. So, and that's what I was playing on this day here when it was failing to break down. I was trying to predict this VWAP perk, this little squeeze here, and ended up taking a couple small losses on it. And then I was up completely green on it, missed my execution, and then figured, I'll just keep holding it. This will probably squeeze more. As soon as after hours hit, I had to cut it down at 4. So I ended up taking a bigger loss than I expected. But today, so it did hold up eventually, and then we got that squeeze that I was talking about, or that I was looking for. It just happened a couple days later. So it just failed to break down, and we got the squeeze, and that was today. And so today it spiked and broke out in the morning over 5, and then was just holding it and making these higher lows. And so let me get to the 1 minute here. I took some shares right in here at 514, 515, and then just sold into the pop. And I actually took some more. Where was it? I think I bought it here at 515. It dipped, held 5, added more shares at 505, sold the 515 piece up here in the 530s. I didn't really like the entry, so I just sold that off for a small win, and was holding the rest down at the low fives at my 505 position. And it cracked pretty hard and came all the way back down to support, but I was risking that 480, the low that it put in the morning. I thought that was a solid support level with volume, and that if it cracked that, then the play would be done. Shorts would have completely taken over and was no longer long. It was no longer long biased, in my opinion, if it broke 480. So, where was it? So we got this crack, and it held the 490s, high 480s, and so I stayed comfortable, and I actually added shares in the 490s with the 495 average, and was selling into pieces here in the 420s. Sold one more piece here in the 430s, and then I was going to sell here my last piece here in the 440s when it looked like I was finally breaking out over the 436 area, and just got that hard crack, and I was a little nervous because it was a hard crack on volume, and I don't like that falling knife crack like that. So, but it did hold the 490s really well, and 5 is the breakout level, so it's technically kind of holding the breakout level. It's not an exact science, you know. So I didn't want to stop out here at 492 because 5 didn't hold. That's not where I'm risking. I'm risking 480. That's the low that it put in the morning, and that's the low. I feel like I said, if it cracks that low, then the play is over. So it was still holding that 490 support level, and I held it and ended up, I just set an advanced order and had my stop here at 480, and then my target sell here at 560. And I was kind of keeping an eye on it here and there. You know, I'm really busy at work, and so I just have my alerts set, and I'm just checking on it whenever I can. And so I was trying to keep, you know, a little bit of an eye on it a little more. But I was happy with my sells, and even if I did stop out here and it cracked 480, I was still green on the trade no matter what. So I wasn't very stressed over this trade whatsoever. And then we ended up holding 510 and got a squeeze straight up towards the 570s. It touched 570. So it was, you know, all of a sudden my phone dinged, and the order was executed at 560, and I made about I think it was like 12%. And so it was a nice little win there. And so it's basically just keeping it simple. To just summarize, you know, this whole play, it's just a super low float. It did not have any news, which I prefer it to have news. If it did have news, I think it would have squeezed more than it did. But it was a super low float. Loved the volume, plus a breakout level. So all those kind of key factors was what made me want to trade it. And then the fact that it's just a super low float that was failing to break down, and that by itself, you know, is a beautiful play for listed longs. So just keep an eye on those low floats with maybe some kind of catalyst, or, you know, it's one of those ones that usually spike and fail. And if it is one of those that spike and fail, just take your singles and buy dips into support and just sell into the pops. Don't think that, oh, this is going to squeeze and hold, you know, until the high of daybreak or something. Like, it might not, it most likely won't work. So it will most likely follow past history, and it'll probably just fail into the close. So I just was playing it safe, buying into dips, selling into the pops, scaling out, kind of adding more on some dips, and just sold the rest into that 560 push. So I kept it really simple, not very big size, and I had decent size for me, you know, which is about like any more than $1,000 right now in my current situation, since I'm really trying to play with lower size. Any more than $1,000, I would think it is kind of putting in bigger size for me, with only a $7,000 account. So I did have 3K in roughly, yeah, maybe a little more overall. So, but I didn't just put 3K in on my first buy. You know, I bought $500 worth, and then I bought another $500 worth, and I was basically just buying it in $500 pieces, and selling some into the pops and adding more onto the dips when it was holding. So I just kept it pretty simple, and was pretty comfortable with this trade, which I liked. So I'll be keeping this one on watch for tomorrow morning as well, for some kind of red to green move. Previous high of day break over that 575 area. So that'll be on watch for tomorrow. See if we can get more of a squeeze towards. See if we can get a 52-week breakout over 7. That would be nice. So that's all I got for this. Hope it made sense, and I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.